So we're heading to go pick up some parts over in Ohio. So this is the first thing we've done since quarantine ended, and it's going to be a fun day. We're just about to start. Should take most of the day. Hey, well there we go. We just picked up the door and the seats. Look pretty good. Didn't get a good chance to take a real good look at them, but we'll get them back, cleaned up, and get them installed. All right, we are just about back. So we just got back, and we've got the parts for the Midget in the car, but it's getting pretty late now, so I'm just going to unload them right now. We'll take a look at them tomorrow. I'm excited to see what we've got. So it's the next day. We've got the seats unloaded, and this is the first chance we're going to have to get a good look at them. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's see, I've got the seats next to the car here. So let's go ahead and get real close and take a first good look. Alright, so this door is not from the same year as the Midget. The Midget is a 67. This door, I think, is from a 74. I see a couple of things. First of all, the handle here for the vent window appears to be a little different from the earlier model. So if you look here, you can see this handle's pretty straight, pretty thick. And if you wander up here to the 67, you'll see we've got a curved, kind of thinner model here on this one. So we'll have to decide which style of hardware we want to go with, and either swap out the old window or possibly this whole pillar. I believe this runs right on down through the door. The other thing I notice is we've got 2 holes for a mirror. That's fine. That's better than the rust I've got on the passenger door currently on the car. So that's fine. We can deal with that. Other than that, we'll change the trim. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Okay, how about these seats? So we've got, first of all, a couple rips here in the driver's seat. It's okay. Everything else looks pretty tight as far as the fabric and the upholstery goes. Now, of course, these are, like I said, a newer style of seat. The original seats did not have headrests, but I think we'll keep those for safety. Safety, right? This car is enormous, very safe in an accident. The headrests will sure help. Okay, how about the back side? Passenger seat looks good too. Okay, we've got a little separation there under the headrest. Again, nothing too bad. Let's tip it over. Okay, a little light rust here on the rails. Frames are okay. Nothing too bad. The webbing needs to be replaced. Foam needs to be replaced. Okay, that's livable. Let's take a look at the driver's seat underneath. Again, backside looks okay. We've got some rust. Okay, frame rails are a little worse on this guy, but again, I think we can find a way to make those serviceable. Webbing again, foam. Okay, so a little bit of work to do on these, but again, I think these are going to be a big improvement over the existing stuff. So let's go ahead and flip them back upright. Ooh, look, on the ground we can see all the fun things we're going to get to pull out of these seats. Again, pretty big improvement over these guys. I don't know what these are. they are certainly not comfortable. They're bolted directly to the floor. Somebody has even put a 2x4 under the driver's seat. See if I can get a visual of that for you. Just move the door over, set her down, open this guy up, and you can see 2x4. So that's spectacular. That is spectacular. So I'm excited to have even the rusty frame rails we've got, because we could work with those. But again, big improvement. We'll get them cleaned up, get them put into the car, swap out the door, and continue on the bodywork. So project under construction at the moment is just sanding down the existing paint and getting a nice smooth finish, throwing on the first coat of primer to protect it, after which we'll go back and we'll do wet sanding, additional coats of primer. You can see that a little bit rough on this first coat, but again, this is all about learning as we go. So I'll get in real close here. You can see that this needs to be, again, done a second time, a second pass. But again, a good start to the project. And the intention here is just to make this a driver. I'd be happy with it looking good from 10 feet or possibly 5 feet. I think 5 feet might be the goal here. But it runs and drives. We've got some seats. We've got a door. We're moving right along. Okay, so here we are. Got the new door lined up next to the car. We're getting ready to put it on, and I've noticed there are a couple of little differences that we're going to have to deal with as we go through this. First of all, this hinge is frozen. So, unless I can get it free, we're going to have to swap the old hinges to the new door here. Second thing I've noticed is, if you look at the end of the new door here, I don't know how you can see that. If you look at the end of the new door here, we've got this stiffener. I think that's for the body stiffness on the round wheel arch cars, which this is not. You'll also notice that doesn't exist on the current door. So we're going to have a small fitment issue there, and I'll have to figure out exactly what I need to do with that little extra post. Now, why are we replacing this door in the first place? If I walk around, you'll notice here and here we have two little friends caused by time and moisture. And I figured it's probably easier to just go ahead and replace this whole thing, particularly because there's got rust bubbles all the way along the bottom. And this new one is in comparatively much better shape. So that's the reason for the swap in the first place. So, I'm going to figure out exactly what to do with this post here, figure out this hinge situation, and we'll go from there. Okay, next itsy bitsy little problem. I have absolutely no idea how to take the door card out of this door. So let's work on that. Let's see if we can figure that out. Alright, the only screws I can see are just here on the handle. So I'm going to assume that this just... Yep, it does. Pops out with some clips that you just feel for here behind the door card. Okay, let's see. Now there are screws here for the handle, so we'll go ahead and take care of those and see if that frees up some more. Okay, here we go. Oh, we have motion. Okay. One. And a little fellow here that might need some persuasion. Here's the persuader. Good enough. Needs a little longer. Maybe some more persuasion. Even fire some down the back there. Wipe this up. Don't really want it to damage the vinyl. We'll give it another shot. Yeah, this one's in here solid. Okay, we might have to take more drastic action on that one. In the meantime, yes, that does look like exactly what needs to happen. Based on the motion I'm seeing here, we probably also need to remove this latch and the latch panel. So let's go ahead and get started on that. There we go. That's more like what I would have hoped for on the other one. That door handle comes off nice and easily. Here we go. Come on out of there. Perfect. Flathead here. Flathead here. So let's go ahead and grab those. I'd already grabbed them. Okay, there goes one. And the other. These are really little fellows, so we want to be careful not to lose them like I just did. Okay, now let's see if we can get this guy out of here. Just use the old fingers. Do a little bit of prying action. Look at that. Look at that. Comes right out, and there's the latch mechanism. Locks and unlocks the door. I can get that up real close to the camera. You can see what that looks like. Okay. Beautiful. And then in case you didn't have a close-up before, the door handle itself lives in here. And it's impossible to reach when you're sitting in the car because it's actually behind your shoulder. So, beautiful thinking there by the design team at MG. Let's keep working on this guy. Okay. That does look almost completely loose. Just this last little guy here, who we tried persuading a few minutes ago. Let's see if any of that persuasion has paid off. I doubt it. Yeah, let's get something bigger. Well, I got something bigger, and it still didn't work. So, what I'm going to do is instead just drill it out. So, if I take the screw I do have, which came out of there quite nicely, I need to finish taking it out, I should say. Let's see, here it is. Okay. Looks like this. Fine thread pattern. I know these bolts are actually, or rather these screws are actually posi drive, not Phillips. So that's probably why I'm struggling right now. But let's see if we can find the right drill bit here. That looks right. 11/64. Okay, let's try that out. Let's see if we can get this screw loose. Okay, here we go. Answer, yes we can. Okay, so we have here the screw head right on here. We have our beautiful chrome door handle, which is in great shape. I like these. These are great. And then, let's see if that finished up, releasing the door card. I suspect the answer is mostly. Yeah, here it goes. Right down from the top. There's another clip in here somewhere. Okay, maybe not. Let's see. Let's see. Come on. So our 5-minute project here has become something more involved. Ooh. I see duct tape inside of this door. I'm really glad we're replacing this. Well, what do you know? The chrome ring here that connects to the crank handle has got a retaining spring on it. Beautiful. Okay. Now, what about that retaining spring? How does that guy come off? Let's see if we can't figure this out so that you don't have to sit through all of this riveting YouTube content. Okay, I think we've got it. I believe there's a retaining pin in here that I just need to knock out. Aha! Would have been nice if I'd known that before I butchered the retaining spring. Okay, so our chrome crank handle here. Really nice. Retaining spring goes just in here in one of two positions. It looks like there's actually a hole right through, two sets of holes, so you can attach it in whatever way's best. And here's the retaining spring I butchered, and I'll have to get back together and figure out how on earth I'm going to reuse it. Or I could just buy a new one. I hope. Either way, off comes the door card. Look at that. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. In the process there, I actually also lost one of the retaining clips that actually holds the door card into the car. So I can go ahead and put that back in place here. Like so. 1 and 2. Okay, so we can use that again later. Nothing wrong with that door card. Toss it in the car. Part 2. Let's have a look at this guy. Okay, we've got motion. Motion is a good thing. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Ooh, more duct tape. Look at that. And 6. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if this is stock on all midgets or not, but this is actually metal backed. Look at that. Huh. That is interesting. The other thing that's interesting is you can actually see, I hope you can see in here, inside of the door, you can see the original color the car used to be. This was originally out of the factory, what I believe is called damask red. And at some point, obviously it was repainted this glorious yellow color. At which time I imagine they also added a lot of duct tape. So let's see if we can get that off too. What does that come like? Ah, another viewing port into the door. Beautiful. Okay, so now we can see inside of the door and we can see the bolts that actually hold the door to the hinge. Now what I'd like to do is go ahead and reuse the hinges exactly as they are so that I can test fit the new door without having to do a lot of magic. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and locate my socket set and see if we can pull the door off just as is. Okay, so this is 1/2 inch as usual. So we're just going to go ahead and remove these. That's 1. Maybe I'll go ahead and stop bashing the sill, huh? That's 2. Oh, that's interesting. The first one had a lock washer. The second one does not. I can see that this has been left exactly as it left the factory. MG was always that consistent. Number 3. And now I'm going to start supporting this thing because hopefully this removes it here in just a moment. And 4. Okay, maybe there is some consistency. Both bottom screws had regular flat washers. Both top had lock washers. So we'll go ahead and slide off there. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, beautiful. We have got one free and removed door. Now just to get the other one stripped down and put back on in the same manner. There's just something about double checking the first test drive to make sure everything still works that I love. Let's double check and make sure the first test drive was still valid.